In 1979, a farmer in upstate New York walked out to his field on a cold November morning and saw something that would haunt him for the rest of his life. There, lying face down in the dirt, was a young girl. She had been shot in the head. No ID, no purse, and no one in town knew who she was. For decades, she was known only as Caledonia Jane Doe. Her story became one of the most haunting cold cases in America, until the day that a simple Facebook message unraveled the mystery and revealed the heartbreaking truth. The date is November 10th, 1979, Caledonia, New York. It's the kind of small farming town where everyone knows everyone and violent crime is almost unheard of. At around 10 a.m., a farmer named Robert Middlebrook heads out to tend his fields near State Route 20. The morning frost hasn't yet melted. As he walks along the edge of the field, something catches his eye. A splash of bright colour against the brown earth. At first, he thinks it's a pile of discarded clothes, but when he gets closer, he realises it's the body of a teenage girl. She's lying face down. She's wearing a tan corduroy jacket, jeans, and bright orange socks. There's no purse, wallet, or nothing to say who she is. The sheriff's department is called immediately. It doesn't take long for investigators to determine that she's been shot twice, once in the head and once in the back, with a .38 caliber revolver. However, detectives face a big problem right away. No one in Caledonia recognizes her, and she doesn't match any local missing persons reports. Detectives fan out to towns across the region, checking with schools, youth centers, and shopping malls. But they find nothing. The girl's appearance offers some clues. She's around 5'3" and 120 pounds. She has light brown hair with reddish highlights, and she has freckles and pierced ears. An autopsy reveals that she had eaten a meal of corn, peas, and potatoes, diner food, not long before her death. It also shows that she has been hitchhiking for a while. She had suntan lines in November, suggesting she'd recently been in warmer climates. Witnesses remember seeing a teenage girl matching her description at a truck stop the day before her body was found. She was with a white man in his 30s or 40s driving a tan station wagon. Police check every registered station wagon in the country, but nothing solid comes from it. Without an identity, detectives can't trace her steps, and so she becomes Caledonia Jane Doe, buried in a local cemetery with a headstone that simply reads, "Unidentified girl, November 10th, 1979. Gone but not forgotten." For years, the case stays cold. In the 80s and 90s, detectives revisit the file every so often, but without new technology, they're stuck. In the early 2000s, advances in DNA give some hope. The girl's remains are exhumed and her DNA is entered into the national database. Still, no match. By 2014, it's been 35 years. Generations of investigators have come and gone. Locals still talk about the girl in the field, but most believe that her name will never be known. Enter Pamela Reed, a high school friend of a girl named Tammy-Jo Alexander from Brooksville, Florida. Pamela had always wondered what happened to Tammy. Tammy had been 16 when she vanished in 1979. She'd had a troubled home life, skipped school often, and was known to hitchhike. One day, Pamela is scrolling through Facebook and comes across a page about unidentified victims. She clicks on a post about Caledonia Jane Doe, and the photo looks exactly like Tammy. Pamela contacts the authorities in Florida, who in turn reach out to the New York State Police. Dental records and DNA testing confirm it. The girl in the field is Tammy-Jo Alexander. After 35 years, she finally has her name back. However, identifying Tammy is only half of the battle. Investigators believe that she had been hitchhiking north from Florida, possibly to visit friends or relatives. Along the way, she crossed paths with the wrong person. The man who was seen with her at the truck stop remains unidentified. Some believe he was a long-haul trucker. Others think he was a drifter. Even with modern forensic techniques, no suspect has been named. Tammy's killer is still out there, or, more likely, died many years ago without ever facing justice. Tammy's half-sister, Anita Greenwell, has said that finally knowing what happened brought some closure, but also deep sadness. Tammy had run away before, but she always came back. This time, she had just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. For the people of Caledonia, the case has left a mark. That lonely field near Route 20 will forever be linked to the girl who lay there for decades without a name. Tammy-Jo Alexander's story is heartbreaking because it's so ordinary. A teenager looking for adventure and trusting the wrong stranger. For 35 years, she was a mystery, and while her name has been restored, the question of who took her life is still unanswered. Rest in peace, Tammy-Jo Alexander. It's November 1988, Oregon. A 29-year-old woman leaves work to go to a hair appointment. Hours later, her car is found abandoned on the side of a rural road. Engine still running, headlights still on, but doors locked. Deborah Atrops is nowhere to be found. What starts as a missing person case will soon unravel into a dark web of custody battles, a suspicious husband, and a chilling discovery that comes way too late. November 29th, 1988, Tualatin, Oregon. Deborah Lee Atrops works as a secretary at a dental office. She's known for being punctual, organized, and dependable, the kind of person who always shows up on time. At around 5 p.m, she leaves work and heads to her hairdresser for a 5:30 p.m. appointment. Her plan after that is to return home to her apartment in Tigard, where she lives with her estranged husband, John Atrops. She never made it there. The hairdresser later tells the police that Deborah showed up on time for her appointment and stayed for about an hour. She seemed in good spirits, chatting casually whilst getting her hair trimmed and styled. At 6:30 p.m, Deborah left the salon and walked towards her black 1988 Honda Accord that she had left in the parking lot. That is the last confirmed sighting of her alive. By 11 p.m. that night, Deborah still hasn't come home. Her husband, John, calls the police to report her missing. At first, it seems like the concerned call of a worried spouse, but detectives notice something odd. John tells them that he and Deborah were in the process of separating and he had been arguing with her over the custody of their 3-year-old daughter. In fact, the very next day, November 30th, they were due in court to discuss custody arrangements. Early the next morning, police find Deborah's Honda Accord. It's parked on the side of a rural road in Sherwood, about 10 miles from the hair salon. The car is locked, the engine is still warm, and the headlights are on. The car shows no sign of a struggle. no purse, and no sign of Deborah. Strangely, the location is along a route that doesn't make sense if she was heading home from the salon. It's an out-of-the-way area, quiet, dark, and mostly farmland. From the very beginning, suspicious falls on her husband, John Atrops. Friends describe him as controlling and prone to jealousy. Deborah had told several people she was afraid of him and was considering filing for divorce. Police interview John multiple times. His story is that he was home for the entire evening, watching their daughter, and he had no idea what happened to Deborah after she left work. But detectives find inconsistencies in his timeline, especially about the hours between her hair appointment and when he reported her missing. Despite their suspicions, police have no body, no physical evidence, and no eyewitnesses, placing John at the scene. The custody hearing the next day is postponed, and Deborah's family is left in limbo. Weeks turn into months. The case grows cold. Rumors swirl, but without hard proof, prosecutors cannot move forward. Fast forward to August of 1989, 9 months after she vanished. A fisherman walking along the Clackamas River in Gladstone, Oregon, spots something tangled in the brush near the water's edge. It's human remains, badly decomposed. Dental records confirm that it is Deborah Atrops. She had been strangled to death. The location is just 12 miles from her abandoned car. Even with a body, the case against John remains circumstantial. Prosecutors believe he may have confronted Deborah after her hair appointment, possibly over the upcoming custody battle, and killed her in a fit of rage. The theory is that he then staged the car scene to look like she had been attacked by a stranger. But without direct evidence linking him to the crime, John is never charged. He maintains his innocence to this day. Deborah's murder officially remains unsolved. For Deborah's family, the pain has never gone away. Her daughter grew up without her mother, and the unanswered questions still haunt everyone who knew her. The local investigators occasionally revisit the file, hoping modern forensic techniques may uncover something new, a hair fiber, DNA, or witnesses who finally decide to talk. But for now, all that remains is a haunting image: a warm car, headlights cutting through the cold nights, and the ghost of a woman who never made it home. The case of Deborah Atrops is the kind that sticks with you because it feels like it should be solvable. The timeline is tight, the suspect pool is very small, and yet there's just not enough to make it stick. Somewhere out there is the truth about what happened on that November night, and until it comes to light, Deborah's story will remain one of Oregon's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. Rest in peace, Deborah Atrops.